Welcome back to the pharmaphorum podcast. In this episode, we look back to a conversation had with Manny Belabe, Senior VP of Customer Success at ArisGlobal, just after the second Life Sciences Generative AI Council was held in Switzerland in May. Our discussion of next-generation artificial intelligence and machine learning takes in an expanded exploration of the potential risks to be aware of and how best to leverage these technologies in the safest and most efficacious way possible, as well as what might come next for the Council and industry in terms of employment of GenAI going forward. It is at the end of the day about providing solutions, adapting and finding a common path forward by working together. And AI automation overall can be safely impactful and ameliorate the way business is done today, even sustainably also. Tune in, find out more, share your comments or your questions with us, and as ever, thank you for listening. Welcome to the pharmaphorum podcast. This is web editor Nicole Raleigh, and today I will be speaking with Manny Belabe, Senior VP of Customer Success at ArisGlobal. Welcome, Manny.
Hey, Nicole. Pleasure to be here.
Last month, the second Life Sciences Generative AI Council took place in Newcastle, Switzerland on the 15th of May. The inaugural session had taken place in February this year at Princeton in the United States, aiming to bring together the best minds in pharma, academia, and technology to advance the use of GenAI in life sciences R&D. The Global Council is a small and exclusive, top-tier, invitation-only group, and its remit is to pinpoint and showcase repeatable use cases that will shape the targeted use of next-generation artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning, such as innovations we will be speaking about today, particularly, though, as pertains to GenAI. So, Manny, you're here today to discuss the Council, provide further insight on it, on its mission and objectives, and the role it seeks to play in furthering the success of GenAI in life sciences R&D. But before we sink our teeth into that central topic, perhaps you could introduce yourself to listeners. Tell us about your journey to doing what you do today with ArisGlobal.
I've worked with ArisGlobal for just about the past 20 years. I joined the organization as a level 1 help desk support representative. And really, I learned about the actual business side of the industry by asking clients as they called in why it was they were reporting issues. That led to a series of increases in my responsibilities and different teams. I've been a member of our consulting group. I've been a member of our sales team. I've been a member of our product management team. Within all of those stops, what I sought to do was bring a customer-centric approach to understanding the problems and actually delivering the solutions for them.
Thank you, Manny. So if we turn now to the foci of the Life Sciences GenAI Council, perhaps you could tell us more, to start with, creating a comprehensive and adaptable framework for scalability and speed, as well as a patient-centric focus.
So what we've sought to do is, again, with the GenAI Council, there's been a number of advancements in technology, and we wanted to make certain that we were able to find innovative ways to apply these technologies to use cases within the life sciences domains. And typically the approach that is taken is one where you involve only your customers and you really have a viewpoint where you're just kind of ratifying and vetting your own ideas. So what we sought to do to be different is really just open this up to industry. So the members of our GenAI Council are not just ArisGlobal customers, but thought leaders across industry, and also including thought leaders in terms of technology delivery, whether it's Microsoft, Amazon, or others. What we're really looking to do is get the best and brightest and not only skew this from a life sciences perspective, but also to understand from just a purely technology perspective, what's happening, what direction are we going in. And that allows us to make decisions around the best usage of technology in a responsible manner.
Yes, and that includes regulatory compliance and responsible AI practices, as it were, doesn't it?
That is correct. We're looking, again, for us, we're not in business if our clients and customers are not complying with regulations and guidelines that are put in place. So that's almost table stakes and a given. But what we're looking to do is meet those, adhere to those requirements, and at the same time allow our partners or customers to extract additional value from the technology and the way that they meet those mandates.
Thank you. So I actually spoke with ArisGlobal's Elizabeth this morning, just after First Council, and she commented that GenAI and the use of large language models, or LLMs, to transform the interrogation and exploitation of diverse knowledge bases offers enormous potential to disrupt, this is a key word of late, disrupt life sciences R&D processes in a very positive way. That is to direct benefit to patients as well as the wider healthcare ecosystem. Indeed, during that conversation, she also touched upon several points, but critically, how there simply isn't any AI without data, obviously, but also how there is yet a need for investment in a unified data layer. Furthermore to that thought, a recent McKinsey report on AI noted that advanced technologies are estimated at about $110 billion in value economically for life sciences. So I just wondered if you could provide commentary on that at all.
So yeah, as Elizabeth mentioned, and she's 100% correct, data is the core of what we're doing. And if we look to the data, we can substantiate the decisions we make and be able to qualify them in a way that wasn't possible. But again, there are limits to human capacity, and the volumes of these data are so extraordinarily large that it's very hard to keep in mind all of the various inputs as you make future decisions. Leveraging the technology, we're able to do this. We're able to actually provide advanced decision support. But with this, because these are models, because these are approaches that are based on the training and recognition of past patterns, we have to make certain that we're not biasing those patterns or that pattern recognition in any way. And whether directly or intentionally biasing the outcomes, but we really want to make certain that at all times we are doing this with the intent of improving patient outcomes, as well as just delivering efficiency and overall value to the process itself.
Thank you, Manny. So if we turn now to the second council, approximately a dozen organisations joined the European session, including representatives from global pharmaceutical companies and key technology and data partners. You mentioned Microsoft earlier, but also OmniHealth. And its focus was on priority GenAI use cases aimed to solve critical pain points in case processing and regulatory affairs workflows and responsible AI, multimodal AI, machine learning operations, or ML ops, data and security, among others. Can you provide any expansion on that for us?
Well, what we were looking to do was to build on the progress and the work done as part of that first council. And really this involved being able to expand on the use cases in which we could apply generative AI, making certain that the members understood and received a progress update on the initiatives which we had already started, which were around some of the extraction, narrative authoring aspects of use cases and the functionality. So this was really for us an opportunity, one, to also expand the audience. We made certain that as part of this second session, we included not only the organizations from the first, but began to identify additional contributors who could provide their unique journey and their insights to the overall discussion. And we found it to be a really, really interesting session that everyone thought was very productive and worthwhile. It's really, and again, I don't want to go too far into terms of the use cases we provided because that'll set expectations. And I don't want to misguide anyone in terms of what we're focusing on and where we're continuing to invest in terms of our development. But we were able to identify at least 10 additional use cases that we feel will offer significant value and make use of the advancements made with the large language models.
Thank you. So if we just hone in on that word functionality, I do know that at the second council, what was also discussed was ArisGlobal's LifeSphere NavaX GenAI features. Could you expand on those at all?
Yes, of course. So NavaX is our market-facing umbrella for our automation technologies. Originally, when we introduced our LifeSphere safety platform, which was centered around LSMV, the automation engine was referred to as Nava. And this was almost 5 years ago that we've introduced this to the market. And what we felt is there's been such a significant advancement in the automation, the capabilities, and the approaches that it warranted us reinvigorating this automation initiative, and hence the NavaX. And this is where we've put together a team of development and engineering resources who are really focused on furthering the usage of generative AI and other automation capabilities within our platform. And I say our platform because while we're very well known for the work we've done within the pharmacovigilance domain, again, ArisGlobal takes a platform-centric development approach, meaning the solutions we provide for our regulatory customers, quality, medical info, are all based on common modules, which we can leverage to reduce data redundancy and just the overall maintenance associated with the data. But again, the way we approach the NavaX is we identify technology, and then we look to our SMEs from the domains to understand and identify how that technology can be applied within their respective areas. And it's proven very valuable and really innovative for us in that we can see how for example, the usage of large language models slightly differs from the PV use cases than they do from the regulatory, but both groups are able to benefit. And again, even within their normal course of business, there is a overlap in terms of the information that's leveraged. I mean, if you think about it, it's quite natural. Any of the approvals or regulatory information directly ends up into the company product dictionaries that are used as part of coding and other activities, determination of labeling and efficacy. So this is all stuff that our teams were able to take advantage of, and it just seemed to fit together naturally and without any us having to force it. So we didn't have siloed teams who were working separately and then having to come back and figure out how to combine what they've done. From the onset, all of our teams are working together, and it really has led to the production of some functionalities that we feel can't be mimicked in the industry.
Thank you for sharing those further details on NavaX, and I apologize for the mispronunciation of that previously, Manny. I want to again tunnel down into singular words. Before it was functionality. Mm-hmm. This whole conversation has been about technology, and you mentioned a moment ago about naturally. So thinking about the wider landscape of the industry at the moment, there is, perhaps we could term it, intense discussion of climate change, as well as the clear need for more sustainable practices. So how does this mindset shift apply to integrating AI in life sciences? For example, the cooling infrastructure, the space required, outside of the cloud.
Yeah, these are all very much concerns that everyone should be preoccupied with. And again, when I say that, I mean, this is our planet. We only have one. We have to come up with ways for us to ensure that it's here for many more generations to come. So when we talk about the responsible development and usage of AI and the role it plays, what we're really talking about, really ensuring that the energy consumption and cooling, as you mentioned, our data centers are as efficient as possible. We're leveraging sources of renewable energy to power these data centers. And we're also taking advantage of this same technology to manage our consumption. So understanding and recognizing opportunities to perhaps power down certain areas in low demand periods, just a various number of techniques that are all designed to minimize the footprint. In addition, there's also just the space requirements. I mean, to date, some of these server farms, as you hear, and this isn't just related to the generative AI, but even for endeavors such as crypto mining. You hear about these expansive server farms and the way that they're set up. If we can identify ways, and as you know, computing power increases, we can have smaller machines, but just ways to minimize the geographical footprint of these areas so that we're not impacting the environment as much. So these are all things that we're really looking to incorporate as part of our development and delivery of this next generation of technologies.
Thank you. So finally, if we go back to the second council now, what next, in your opinion, for GenAI in life sciences, or indeed what next for the council itself?
So our council will be an ongoing item, and what we really expect to happen is for this GenAI council to serve as the equivalent of a steering committee, helping us to continue to set strategy and ensure that not only our approach, but industry are all mutually aligned, and we are able to deliver difference-making technology or solutions to the market, rather than technology, because that's really what we're looking to provide, solutions. Business challenges will always be there. They may adapt and they may evolve over time, and which would cause us to adapt, but we have to make certain that the path forward is one that's commonly viewed, as opposed to just a select group of organizations working on endeavors separately. And again, coming back to that responsible aspect of it, if we can work together, we can understand and kind of shoulder the burden together. In the past, one organization would have to take on all aspects of the development. What this GenAI Council allows us to do is understand what portions of the journey industry is willing to carry, and what portions they're expecting their vendors, such as ArisGlobal, to deliver and help them and supplement their activities with. So that's really what we expect. We have some upcoming series in terms of our Breakthrough AI initiative, where we will be meeting with thought leaders. And again, there's one coming up later this month, and just sharing our message, making certain that folks are beginning to think about how generative AI, automation overall, can be impactful and change the way they do business today.
Thank you, Manny. It's been a pleasure. And so that concludes another episode of the pharmaphorum podcast. You can find more information about this episode, including a download link and information about previous installments, at pharmaphorum.com/podcasts. The pharmaphorum podcast is also available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and pretty much wherever you get your other podcasts. Just search for pharmaphorum and press subscribe. Of course, don't forget to visit our website itself, where you can sign up for daily and weekly news and analysis bulletins. And do follow us as well on X or Twitter and LinkedIn at pharmaphorum. That's all for now. Thank you for listening.